Morning, Pete, North Las Vegas. This is an older build I did about 2, maybe 3 years ago. So what we're going to be doing today is on this Windham Weaponry A2 buttstock, which is fine. The buttstock itself, it's very nice fitting. I believe it's the correct color. Everything about it, fit and finish, is really good except for one thing, and that's that it uses a plastic trap door with the plastic latch. And I'm not changing it just because it's plastic. I'm changing it because it rattles on the bottom hinge, like a lot. So anyway, I found these on Apex. These are all metal, aluminum door with the metal latch. And Apex, if you don't know, stands for Armory Parts Exchange. And these are listed as genuine Colts, new old stock. So they're supposed to be brand new. So I thought we'd take a close look at them. We'll talk about the rifle a little bit, and then let's get started replacing these. Okay, so I ordered 3 of them, and this one showed up without a scratch on it. Like perfect, definitely new old stock. This one the same way. No scratches, dents, or dings, new old stock. This one here, however, you can see some shiny metal where the parkerizing wore off on the bottom edge of the latch there. And if I had a flashlight, which I don't, I could show you the inside of that hole where there's a little bit of shiny metal in there. So this one at one time was actually mounted, so this may be a takeoff new old stock. But other than that, there's not a scratch on it. And the first few times you open and close it, that's going to happen anyway, so I'm not worried about it. So I feel like I got my money's worth. So they advertise these, like I was saying, as Colt new old stock. That's the Colt part number, SP64533. I wrote that on there. And here's how it comes in the bag. They're listed for A2s. And their part number is VColt 24869. And I got curious about this 24869, and it looks a lot like a cage code to me. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I went ahead and looked that up as if it were a cage code, and let's talk about what we got into there. Okay, so if that is a cage code, it belongs to Aero Base Group, DVCC Incorporated. And it looks like they make a lot of aerospace, a lot of aircraft parts, or they wholesale them or retail them, whatever it is they do. One of the categories that they have is called government surplus. Now, I didn't actually look this thing up to try to find it because it was 12 pages, and I didn't feel like going through 12 pages with very small print trying to figure out what's going on. I don't believe that Aero Base Group actually makes these things. I just believe that they deal with a lot of government surplus, and that's how they ended up with these things. Supposed to fit an A1 or an A2. Now, not all butt plates are interchangeable or compatible with all trap doors. So this is going to be a little bit of an experiment today to see if this actually will fit on this Windham Weaponry butt plate. And before we get started with all that, let's talk about the rifle a little bit. So on this build, I used a 20-inch Rock River Arms H-bar phosphate chrome-lined 1-in-9 twist. And I believe that these barrels are made by Wilson Barrels for Rock River Arms. I know that Wilson makes their stainless barrels. I'm not positive about their phosphate chrome line stuff, but Wilson Barrels, not the same company as Wilson Combat. They're two different companies. Wilson Barrels has been around for quite some time, and my understanding is they make good barrels. And after test firing this thing, it does shoot straight. I ordered it with the F-marked front sight base. This is a Colt side sling mount. Midwest Industries, 2-piece drop-in. I think I used a CMMG gas tube. I don't remember exactly. Palmetto State Armory lower with a Velocity 3-pound trigger, K&S pins, Magpul Myad grip. And I believe these are also CMMG because they're dimpled. This is a Windham Weaponry upper. This is an arms old school quick detach. And this is an old scope I had laying around from early 1990s. And it's a 3.5 by 10. Has the ranging function on the zoom. And uses a duplex mil dot reticle. And has the giant target knobs on it. And has the old school adjustable objective for parallax, which also gives you a ranging function. And this is pretty accurate. On a lot of the newer scopes, the side parallax, they put numbers on it, but most of them generally aren't all that accurate. This thing is accurate. If I adjust for parallax at a given range, that's the range I'm at. And like I said, you have the ranging function on the zoom. That's indexed to, I believe, if I remember right, 18 inches on the duplex. So as you zoom, and whatever you're looking at, 18 inches, this is a pretty good estimate of distance. Magpul Pro, Radian, charging handle, and once again, Windham Weaponry A2 buttstock. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. This scope looks like it's mounted kind of high, maybe a little bit. But when you get behind this thing, as soon as you get up against the buttstock, your eye is just naturally centered on this scope. And I might have forgot to mention this is a 1-inch tube, not a 30 millimeter. But yeah, it might look like it's a little bit high, but man, it works perfect for me. So just kind of visually eyeballing it, lining things up with the plastic. My main area of concern is the hinge area. I want to make sure I have clearance to open and close the door, and it looks like we're going to be okay there. And it looks like it should fit in there just nicely. Anyway, let's find out. So what I did to keep this door from rattling so bad, when I first put the rifle together, you can see that cleaning patch. And as you close the door, it puts a little bit of pressure on that hinge. And if that wasn't there, like I said, this thing rattles really bad. All right, let's get this thing apart. Take these 2 screws out. We'll be using the correct hollow ground blade width so we don't chew up our screws. And then we'll do another comparison before we go through all the trouble of knocking pins out. Okay, here's the original stuff. All of the Windham Weaponry. Windham uses a plastic spacer. And the hinge pin floats on this Windham. I'm not a big trapdoor expert, so I don't know if some trapdoors actually use a roll pin that has to be tapped into place, but this one just comes with a floating pin. So let's just see if all this is going to fit on our metal trapdoor. Okay, so we have the hinge and pin installed. Looks like there's no interference on the bottom here. The door opens and closes all the way. It looks like the latch is going to fit just right. This door is a little bit smaller than the plastic one, so there's going to be a little bit more gap, probably mostly at the top. You can see there. Let me put this back to back with the plastic one, and we'll show you the size difference. Okay, you can see I have the bottom of the doors lined up pretty close. And you can see that the plastic door is just a little bit taller. The plastic's on the left. Metal door is on the right. You can see the thickness difference, so I think once we get it installed, it's not going to sit quite as flush with the butt plate. But so long as it doesn't rattle a whole lot and everything works, it's got to be better than this plastic thing on the left. All right, so far so good. It opens all the way. Like I said, because it's a little bit shorter, there's going to be a little bit more gap up here, and we'll see how it fits flush when I latch it. So the latch is fully engaged with the plastic. It's very close tolerance, so I'm happy about that. So this radius part here just fits under the plastic butt plate. So that's a perfect fit right there. You can see here that it doesn't quite sit as flush as the plastic, but I'm okay with that. This thing no longer rattles. It no longer moves. I mean, it's a nice snug latching fit. So I think we have improved this Windham Weaponry buttstock by putting the metal door and replacing this all plastic one. All right, I have two more Windham Weaponry buttstocks that have the plastic, so that's why I ordered 3 of these. So we'll be replacing all of those today. And I think this is an upgrade worthwhile. I don't remember exactly what I paid for these. I believe they were $34 each for the metal ones from Apex. Anyway, Pete, North Las Vegas. Over and out. Okay, bonus clip. When I put this thing back together, no matter how snug I got this screw on the butt plate, I couldn't quite eliminate all of the back and forth movement on the buttstock, which means that the butt plate was bottoming out against the spacer before there was enough tension and to put up against the receiver. So this is one of the advantages to a plastic, is I'm going to shave this down about 1/10 thou, just take a file to it, and get things snugged up a little bit on the A2 buttstock here. All right, Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out for real this time.